they have transcribed the incommunicable name of stone and stop. And going in and worship those idols. It clearly said they commit adultery with stones and stocks, and they worship those.
Yep. Verse 13 it says, only acknowledge thine iniquity, that thou hast transgressed against Yahweh thy power, and hast scattered thy ways to strangers under every green tree, and ye have not obeyed my voice, saith the Lord. Turn, O backsliding children, saith the Lord, for I am married unto you, and I will take you one of a city and two of a family, and I will bring you into Zion, man. So the Lord is what? Telling us to return back unto him. See, all throughout the scriptures, man, Old Testament, New Testament, right? Telling us to return back into the Lord. You can't return if you was never a part of it, if you never was there. See, if you was never here before, and I say or you'll say, if you was never here before, you can't say I'm gonna return back, right?
That's like me telling
you go to the store and you come back, you return.
That's like somebody telling us to go back to Africa. Nigga, I ain't never been to Africa. I ain't never been. I can't tell you the first thing about nothing about Africa. So how am I gonna go back? Or for a better example, go back to China. I ain't never been to China. Same way, you heathens can't come back to the Lord.
Hold on one second.
You heathens can't come back to the Lord because you were never there.
Never there. Right.
Okay, you can't repent. You can't repent from your sin when you didn't receive the law.
That's right.
You never think where our spirit went to.
I ain't talking about spiritual. I'm talking about in this incarnation of life. In this life, I've never set foot in Africa. So you can't tell me to return there. In this life, I never set foot in China. So you can't tell me to return to China.
Yeah.
I can't tell you what I did in the previous life.
Right. Yep.
But in this life, I can damn sure tell you I can't return there because I never been there.
Yep.
I can't go back because I ain't been there.
Okay, but hey,
Same with you. Come back to the Lord.
I can't wait till I get back down. I've never been there. I want to go back to the pyramid.
Well, okay. Well, I'll take the spiritual aspect out of what you said.
Go ahead.
You know who built them pyramids? Israelites. Israelites.
You know, where you from?
I'm wrong? Somebody get it.
Okay.
Somebody get it. Somebody get it.
I got this.
Go ahead, I'm listening. Go ahead.
Hey.
I don't know if it's
Hey. And the devil. Hey, and the devil. They build the pyramid out of
tempered mortar and stone, right?
yeah, and the devil. And all factors.
Huh?
Name is coming to him.
I know you ain't talking about Mana Musa. No. Because he came, Mana Musa came later on. Wasn't he one of the rulers of I forget. Well, he was ruling. Mana Musa, I believe, was. Is that how you say his name? Mana Musa. Well, he was ruling during the Dark Ages.
Yeah, I think that was Timbuktu.
He was ruling during the Dark Ages. He wasn't there in the time of Egypt. That's what you gotta talk about to do with the imp. Let me hold on. Let me finish this off. I'm dealing with this idolatry. Wisdom of Solomon. 15, there it is, 15 verse 12, it says, for the devising of idols was the beginning of spiritual fornication, and the invention of them the corruption of life. For neither were they from the beginning, neither shall they be forever. See, because they're not going to be here forever and ever. When you read Isaiah the 19th chapter, what's it say happens going to take place when Yahweh Shai returns? Oh no, right? You know what I'm talking about, bro? Where it's talking about the idols being destroyed. It's Isaiah 19, right?
I'm not sure if it's a night. I'm not sure.
Oh, yeah. I believe I got it. Yep. Yep. Isaiah 19, verse 1 says, the burden of Egypt, behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. See? So we know when Yahweh Shai returned on that swift period, not true here in America, Babylon the Great, because America is spiritually Sodom and Egypt. All these different idols is going to melt, man. And this place is full of all the different idols of the other nations. We got many, all the religions are here in Babylon, man. Every single one. You got every nation is here is worshiping every single idol, man. You can believe it. But all these idols are going to melt, man, when the Lord returns. So back up Wisdom of Solomon, 14 verse 13. For neither were they from the beginning, neither shall they be forever. For the vainglory of things they enter into the world, and therefore shall they come surely to an end. For a father afflicted with a timely mourning, when he has made an image of a child soon taken away, now honor him as a god, was then a dead man, and delivered to those that were under him ceremonies and sacrifices. Thus, in the process of time, an ungodly custom grown strong is kept as a law, and graven images were worshipped by the commandments of kings, man. See, so the kings have made their own commandments to be worshipped, man. Okay? And then we're dealing with this image, right? This image that was created, to be portrayed and, the son of the Heavenly Father, man, which is a false image. And what image that you have likened to that today? You have Cesare Borgia, man. White Jesus is what we call him. Or leprous Peter Mike Cesare, however you want to call him, man.
Right, like Apostle Bar been reiterating over and over. It goes back to Serapis Christi, which was an image of, they have a statue of him where he used to have this thing on his head. It's like a jar of base or something on it.
Right. And it's a
What was it, a Roman deity?
it was a Greek deity and an Egyptian deity.
Egyptian deity, right.
Right.
And then like the Romans and Greeks or whatever adopted it, and then they eventually they removed the base off the head. So now it represents Cesare Borgia and Serapis Christi.
Right. And he basically meshed the Egyptian god and their god together.
But that's what Esau does. Esau takes over all the lands, right? He's in power. He took over all the lands, right? He took over all the different cultures, so to speak, and he meshed it all together. So when you think of American Babylon, a great form, it's Babel. It's Babylon. It's a place of confusion because it has everything meshed all in one.
And they worship all those gods from Babylon. They just have a different name for them. The Greeks took on those names. Yeah, the Greeks took on the gods of the Babylonians, the Egyptians, right? The same god, different name. So that's why that's one of the reasons why the scriptures refer to as the daughter of Babylon.
Right. Also, why it's referred to as Mystery Babylon the Great, because it has many names, because it takes on the likeness of many different places. Daughter of the Chaldeans, virgin daughter of Babylon, right. Sodom and Egypt. These different, it has the image of the beast. It has these different things all mixed up into one. It's back in the grow up.
Correct. I want to jump, get to the point, get it. Wisdom of Solomon 15 verse 4 says, for neither did the mischievous invention of men deceive us, nor an image spotted with diverse colors, the painter's fruitless labor. Right? The painter's fruitless labor. And who's the one that painted these images, man? Michelangelo and Leonardo da Vinci, man. You see? And what they wanted to do, they matter of fact, Salaki, I gotta go back to the Wisdom of Solomon 14. Nah, now we're talking about the image, the false image that they made. The what? The page painting? On the stove.
Oh, you talking about Egypt. You talking about Egypt. Hieroglyphics.
Alright, so Wisdom of Solomon 14. Now we sure Egypt had records of different things, right? But who's also records that they had? Because a lot of those are real. But when you discern what's on those hieroglyphics, you know you were the slave on them? You're not Egyptian. You're not African. You don't come from a Hamitic line. Bro, you're not a Zulu, bro. You're not African. Where was our? Can you answer this question?
I'm gonna say, if you think he a Zulu, then we ain't talking to you. We talking to Israelites.
We ain't Zulu, bro. You ain't
Not a
Zulu,
Zulu,
bro. We
bro.
know you ain't Zulu,
You
bro.
from one of these tribes on this side. So-called black, Latinos, and Native Americans are the children of Israel.
You from one of the descendants of these people that fled into Africa. That's what you are. You're from one of these people that fled into Africa. That's the history that y'all weren't taught. We weren't taught either. But we got taught by the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, man.
Hey, took on about West Africa.
West Africa. These people right here.
Yeah.
Well,
And South
let me correct myself. The Southern Kingdom was in the majority of the Southern Kingdom was in West Africa because the Northern Kingdom got dragged already over here, man. It was in the Assyrian captivity, right? And then they came to a land kind of never mankind dwelt upon their own self. See? So getting back into this Wisdom of Solomon. Wisdom of Solomon 14. Verse 17 it says, for whom men could not honor in presence because they dwelt far off, they took the counterfeit of his visage from far and made an express image of a king who they honored to the end that by their forwardness they might flatter him that was absent as if he were present. Also the singular diligence of the artificer did help to set forward the ignorant to more superstition. For the peradventure, willing to please one in authority, forced all his skill to make the resemblance of the best fashion.
Right, so they paint, like the first part goes into, right? It said that he was basically going into how he painted it so good. It's like when he got done, he was like, it's almost like he's here with us. You know, it said, what did it say? So that the one who being absent, make it like he was present.
Yep.
What did it say?
As if he were present.
As if he were present. So he painted it so good, you know, they put so much work into painting this false image of the Messiah, who the world ignorantly called Jesus Christ, that when you were to look at it, you'd be captivated by it. Like they did on the, you know, like how they got those beautiful drawings in the Sistine Chapel of those damn Edomites, you know. That's how good they drew that picture. To where you would look at it and be like, oh, you hear angels singing, the sky open up and a ray of sun come down and point on the picture. It's almost like he's in the room with us. But it was a complete idol and a complete false image. So that's what that's going into. And there was some more on the second part. But basically, he's talking about, and he put forth his best effort so that he could please the king. So that he could please the king by drawing that image of his son.
Well, they did that with Pope Alexander VI, Rodrigo Borgia, man.
Right.
You see, like how he had a contest with Michelangelo and Leonardo da Vinci to create Cesare Borgia. Go ahead, though, y'all. Who are you?
Well, you at verse 15, right, bro?
No, we won't sound like 15, right? The two verses.
Call it out before
This is Wisdom of Solomon. Chapter 15 and verse 7. It says, for the potter tempering soft first fashion.
Block y'all. No, we right here. Wisdom of Solomon 15 verse 4. For neither did the mischievous invention of men deceive us, nor an image spotted with diverse colors, the painter's fruitless labor, the sight whereof entices fools to lust after it. And so they desire the form of a dead image that have no breath. But they that make them, they that desire them, and they that worship them are lovers of evil things and are worthy to have such things to trust upon. So it ties y'all all in one group. The ones that painted them, the ones that to worship them, right? Y'all all one group. Y'all desire of evil things.
And it said basically y'all gonna get what y'all deserve. Y'all deserve to believe and trust in that damn image that can't save you.
right?
That's it. Go ahead, bro. It's on you.
Yeah, and this is First Maccabees, chapter 3 and verse 48.
That's right.
And laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen have sought to paint their likeness and their images. Right. And what we just read was the prophet, what they were doing to go paint their likeness in the scriptures. Right. That's why growing up, you was, you know, if your grandma or whatever, they have a
Picture of Cesare.
picture of Cesare Borgia in their living room. They'll have the little picture Bible, right, with Cesare Borgia in there. That's that image that they painted, right? That they try to paint themselves to look at.
And everybody's grandmas growing up had that damn image with the Last Supper with fucking Cesare on it, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Growing up, when you look at that, you believe in that, man.
Or the one where he walking with the white robe on. He got the red thing around his neck and the background green.
Ooh, man.
Damn, Edomite.
Hey, but that's how they deceive the world, man.
Some of them got a beard, some of them don't. They can't even make up their mind about it.
Yeah.
Right.
It's all false.
All false. Or they got pictures of the little different baby angels blowing the trumpet, butt naked with the wings.
Right. Yeah, and here in Maccabees, the 3rd chapter, this is during the Greek captivity, right? So even back then, they tried to paint their image, paint the Lord as to look like them. So, you know, there's no new thing under the sun. They tried to do it again. Well, they did it again.
Is that what you read already when they opened up the book of the law? Or you about to
Yeah, that's the one I just read. Yeah.
Okay,
And
Right.
back in the day, the original people,
yeah, the original people was us. Now, in the beginning, there were all type of different nations around, but he had a chosen seed then. He got a chosen seed now. We are part of that chosen seed. Answer your question. We are the OG. We are the original. Jacob is the former of all things, man.
Right.
So when you ask, are we the original? We're the original men. We're the original chosen people.
Say that part again. That's what I wanted to say. Say that part again.
What, we the original men. We the original chosen people.
We are the original chosen people.
amen.
Yeah, we're the only chosen people.
We're the only chosen people, right? You know, but in the beginning there was, you know, the sons of God, you know, the Adamites, you know, and then it went from that to being the Hebrew Israelites. The Hebrew Israelites.
All through that chosen land, man. Yeah, they went through not Abel, Seth.
Yeah,
Went through the land of Seth.
Seth, yes.
You know?
down through Shem, and then
Practiced all of that whole line. We ain't put
All of it.
Eber,
Yeah, we
Peleg.
can track it if we want to. But yeah, the chosen line. So just by saying black people don't do it no
You got
justice.
preacher?
Saying black people, saying we black, and that don't do it no justice. There are a lot of people that are dark skinned,
Yeah, a lot of people.
but they ain't our people. There are dark skinned Elamites, which are those, what is it, East Indians?
Indians.
Those, you know, hey, I ain't trying to be racist, but those, hey, buddy, those guys.
You got dark skinned Arab, darker than our people.
That's right.
You got dark skinned people in the lands of China.
And the biggest thing our people can't get past is we are not the same as the so-called Africans. We are not Hamites, man.
But see, how is it that the other nations know they dark, some of them darker than us? Why they know that they ain't Africans, man? Or how they know they ain't Africans? See, because in their culture, they taught that they ain't no damn Africans, man. See? And Esau didn't push that on them. He pushed that on the chosen people because he know they ain't the chosen people. So he ain't got to lie to them.
They ain't even start off calling us Africans in the beginning.
They
They
did.
was calling us Negroes, man.
Before that, you know, it was we had things before that.
Right.
Afro-American.
I don't think they came out till later.
That came out, Afro-American.
What I know is,
African-American was last.
right, what I know is we started off as Negro. When you look at that on that map, it shows the slave coast. They had Judah, and they had Negro land.
Before that was Hebo.
Hebo.
But then, yeah, like you said, but then they got the Negro land and stuff like you said, right.
See, because that was too close to Igbo. That was too close to Hebrew.
Yup.
So they had to
Change it.
And then they was like, you know, we're just gonna call them Negro.
Because if you look at the old sales signs of what's being sold, it says maybe 12 Hebo bucks sold. But why would it say Hebo? Why would it say that? Because they know we the Israelites, man. They would have put Africans if they knew we was Africans.
Yep.
But they know damn well we know Africans. Go ahead. Why?
Deception.
That was a deception. Why? Read that.
Right? This is Job chapter 9, verse 24.
Yeah.
The earth is given into the hand of the wicked.
That's right.
He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he?
Right. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. So the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. So when you see who runs the earth, that's the wicked. So who runs the earth from behind the scenes? These fake Jews, man. These Khazars, man. The international bankers. Okay? They control, the private bankers control the Federal Reserve. If you control the money of a nation, you control that nation. And everything that happens in that nation.
They control the land. They control the resources. They control the people.
The media, the entertainment, the news that gets put out, they can control all of that, man. Because they have license to print the money. Can you hold the piece, sir? They have license to print the money. So, go ahead, bro. You have
Right,
something
they
to say?
control the education system too.
That's right.
Because before, people used to get educated in their homes, right? And they used to get educated in their homes, but then they push that you need to go to school, you need to do this, do that.
And the requirement, they'll take your kids if you don't send them to public school, or if you don't teach the criteria that they want you to learn in school at your home.
Right.
You have to get packets of approved material to teach your kids from your home if you decide to homeschool.
And that's a part of their deceivableness, man. That's a part of their witchcraft. To teach you the ways of how they want you to be taught.
They're putting that cup to your mouth and forcing you to drink it. And also it says they covered the faces of the judges thereof. If the scriptures tell us, know ye not that you shall judge even angels. So they covered up the face of the ultimate judge, which is Yahweh Shai. Then they covered up the face of the judges, the other judges, which is the nation of Israel, starting with the elect, man. They covered up who the elect are. They covered up who the prophets are. They covered up who the actual judges are in the book of Judges. Because now everybody is so-called Edomite under what they teach.
That's the one. Isaiah 25, verse 7. And he will destroy in this mountain the face of the covering cast over all people, and the veil that is spread over all nations.
Right. And he shall destroy the face of the covering that has been cast over all nations. When you cast something, it's like you throwing. They done threw a damn sheet over the whole world, a damn blanket, put the wool over your eyes, man. Okay? But that's being fully, that wool is being pulled away from your eyes.
Oh, precept. Ecclesiastes 30, verse 3. He that teacheth his son grieveth the enemy, and before his friends he shall rejoice of him. So if you teach your children, you what? You grieve with your enemy, because your enemy wants, your children, or start with your son, your children to be brought up and taught of his way of life, of his wickedness, and to accept how he pushes it. So if you teach your children the right way, the right way to teach your children, give me Proverbs 22:6, I'm gonna stop. Because the right way to teach your children, to teach them biblically, man. Give them a biblical foundation. That's the right way to teach your children, man. Esau don't want that. So when your children go with this biblical standpoint to school, they're shunned, or they're kicked out, or they're suspended. That proves, like you understand, bro, niggas are fucking show off.
Niggas want to be seen riding with the one leg up, swerving back and forth. Most not gonna fuck that nigga up, man.
Wasting gas. Hold on, hold on 1 second. So going back into what I was saying, you teaching your children the principles and the foundation of the scriptures, the enemy hates that. He don't want that to happen.
That's right. See, if you're trying to get over on somebody, you don't want them to be wise. You don't want them to see through your game. So when you teach your child the nature of your enemy, for example, the nature of Esau, and they never trust him, then he can't just roll up and tell them anything and they go for it. So he's grieved. He got to work harder now. Oh, damn, man, he already know about this deception. So now I got to come at another angle to get him. Now I got to find another way to get him. So that's one of the ways he's grieved. Because when you instruct your child, if you said they can stand for something, so they won't just fall for anything, man. So like the brother had me get Proverbs 22, verse 6. Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. All right, so when you train up a child in the way that he should go, when he get older, when he get out there on his own, and like we was going into, Esau try to roll up and tell him, oh man, you know, the skies, hey bro, we speaking right now. I know we're dealing with you, but you keep on, you're doing more talking than listening. Okay, we told you was an Israelite, you say you was Zulu. Either you're gonna listen and learn, or you're gonna have to go up the street, man, because we're trying to do our lesson. So just hold your peace, bro. Find an opportunity when we being quiet that you can ask a question. But anyway, like I said, like I was saying, man, that now Esau can't just roll up to that person when he get a little older, he out on his own. Now Esau have a harder time deceiving that child because you have taught him the things that he needs to know to be a man. Go ahead, bro.
That's right. But you know, the best way to teach your children is to be biblically structured. But not only the best way, the way you're supposed to. That's why the brother just read it.
Yeah, Proverbs 22 and 6. Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it.
Train up a child in the way he should go, man. With your children to know man. The correct way. The correct way. Might I state that, man? Because people say, well, we do train up a child in the way they should go according to the Bible. No, you don't. Because your child's run around with the impression at a young age that they can live lawlessly according to the scripture. And that's being taught young. Even if you don't know it fully, you're still doing it. And when you get older, it gives you a harder chance, so to speak, to break from it. You know, because you've been accustomed to it for so long. But hey, you already told you the Lord is going to break you out of that or out of that web, as you were speaking on earlier. Like to get the oil, they do slide right out of it.
And if he haven't chosen you the flip side of it, you ain't gonna stick to it when you get older. You're just gonna get rejected.
That's right. That preacher to back you up. Deuteronomy 6, verse 3. Here, you still got that song ready, yeah. Hear therefore, O Israel, and observe to do it, that it may be well. You know what? Slocky. I got to start at the top. Yeah, by the stand. Deuteronomy 6, verse 1, it says, now these are the commandments, the statutes, and the judgments which Yahweh, your power, commanded to teach you, that ye might do them in the land whither ye go to possess it, that thou mightest fear Yahweh thy power, to keep all his statutes and his commandments, which I command thee, thou and thy son and thy son's son, all the days of thy life, and that thy days may be prolonged. Hear therefore, O Israel, and observe to do it, that it may be well with thee, and that ye may increase mightily, as Yahweh, power of thy fathers, have promised thee, in the land that floweth with milk and honey. Now, who was that promise to? You know who that promise was to, brother? The Israelites. But through who? Now, when he said he was going to increase us mightily, which forefather was it? Abraham. That promise was made to Abraham for his seed. Not everybody. Abraham had 8 seeds. Only one was chosen. See, I'm reading it again. Hear therefore, O Israel, and observe to do it, that it may be well with thee, and that ye may increase mightily, as Yahweh thy power, or as Yahweh power of thy fathers have promised thee, in the land that floweth with milk and honey. I'm gonna get it real fast. Got precept for you, brother. Genesis 17. Verse 6, it says, and I will establish my covenant between me and thee, and thy seed after thee, and their generations for an everlasting covenant, to be a power unto thee and to thy seed after thee. And I will give unto thee and thy seed after thee the land where thou art a stranger, all the land of Canaan for an everlasting possession, and I will be their power. Who? Abraham's seed. Who? Going back to the seed of Israel, man. Okay. Verse 4, Deuteronomy 6, verse 4. Hear, O Israel, Yahweh, our power is one, Yahweh. And thou shalt love Yahweh thy power with all thy heart, with all thy soul, with all thy might. And these words which I command thee this day shall be in thy heart, meaning your mind. And thou, and go to point, verse 7. And thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children, and thou shalt talk of them when thou sittest in thine house, when thou walkest by the way, when thou liest down, when thou risest up. So you're supposed to be teaching your children continually.
Right. This is supposed to be the ways of life for us and for our children.
Right. And now, it's harder for brothers to do it in this time. For some brothers it is, depending on how their schedule is. A lot of brothers got to work so long where they barely even spend enough time with their children, man. And then your children is hauled off to Esau's witchcraft system, so they're being taught by that. And by the time they come home, people going off to work, and it's the same cycle, man.
Right, and then their mom might resist you and teaching them certain things, or might not be able to let go of certain philosophies of Babylon, which is another way that might hinder you from being able to teach them certain things. So, it's really against us in this society.
Yeah. So certain brothers pray, certain brothers just say,
Hey, young man, one thing.
Oh, what's up? What you got to say to so forth, bro? How you been doing, bro? What's up? No, you're talking. Why you talking? But you got the floor now.
Yeah, you got the floor now. What you got to say?
I was saying, you're going up your kids, learn about the word. They're going to know about the word right now. Everything is cool.
Well, if you want to say that, you know what? In the spiritual aspect, the brothers' children that's in the truth, you're absolutely right. They are learning the word in the truth aspect as ever before. Because you had people that was learning the word, right, the both way. But in the truth sense, brothers' children is learning the word the correct way. Even the children, the young children that's learning the word through watching different brothers' videos. So you know what? You're correct. I'm done, man. So, all right, bro, grab Psalms 83, or you got a precept before that. No, Psalms 83. And I wanted to bring that out. Because remember we were dealing with the, how he was covered up through that veil. Because God ultimately, Esau had came together and has consulted against the identity one, which are the Israelites. So go ahead. Okay, bring your precept out and bring Psalms 83.
Right. So this is Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 13.
Okay.
This is going to tell you our whole purpose, man. And we'll be able to keep that fully for the kingdom, when the Lord has the law, statutes, and commandments written on our inward part.
Yeah.
All right. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear the Most High and keep His commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. All right. So, just as the brother was talking about, we're supposed to train our children up and biblically, according to the scriptures, right? Say you have a young man, he's being trained up. In order for him to be a man, right, you have to train him up in the scriptures, because that's what we're supposed to do. That's our whole purpose, to fear the Lord and to keep His commandments.
You learn how to truly be a man, coming gradually in these scriptures, because you learn to take responsibility. You learn to take accountability for your actions. You learn to, how to have discourse, how to have discourse with brothers, and how to have discourse with people in the world, more, in a better pace, or a better, word I want.
You learn temperance, you learn patience, you learn how to deal in society, you learn how to be swift to anger. You learn a lot of different things that help you be more of a perfect man, when you get into the truth. Start with the milk and you get built up. Like that beautiful dream the brother Yawan had, where the dude came out of darkness. He had the cords, and then he broke loose from the cords. It was different things that happened. But basically it was going into how you come into this truth, you get built up, and before you know it, you you a big strong man in the spirit. Even if you are a little physical stature, you become spiritually strong and built up. How about you through the word?
Add on to this brother's point, dealing with King David when he went to go fight Goliath. What?
Right.
He was a small stature, right? That's why Israel like, oh what? You gonna go fight Goliath? That's why Goliath and them was like, what? You gonna bring this no lamb with me?
He came at him boldly, man.
But he came at him boldly, and in his spirit was what? Like the brother said. You know, he has a strong and a big spirit, man. Just because the Most High was dealing with King David, man. Right. See, and that's why he was able to sling that stone. And what? Boom! Knocked him down.
David was talking shit on him too, man. He's like, you about to go down in the name of Yahweh about to shoot all the time, man.
Right. All of them took the man's head off.
Yeah.
That dude's head had to be big than a motherfucker. David did. He probably had to grab the thing with 2 hands.
Yeah, I'm the big man now. I'm the big man on the big man on the block. Yeah. But hey, that's all the spirit of the Lord. What's up, bro?
Nice to see you. Alright, this is Psalms chapter 83. You want me to start at the top?
Yeah.
Psalms chapter 83.
Bro, give me a second at the phone.
Let's go in order.
You can close yours. I'm sorry for the second at the 12. Alright, bro, this one you.
This is Psalms chapter 83 and verse 1. Keep not thou silence, O power. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O power. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
Yeah, and they that hate us are all the other nations, man. All these other nations that did what? They lifted up their head against Israel, man. They think they're above us, you know.
That represents the state of pride when you lift up your head. You know, what do they say? Walk with your head held high. You know, your chest poked forward and your head held high. That's them raising up against the Most High, basically getting the big chest. They saying it with their chest to put it in a more plain way of speaking. You know, they putting some bass in their voice when it comes to the Most High and trying to come against them. Getting bold, getting proud. Go ahead.
Yep, so with them lifting their head up, with them looking down on us, right? Lamentations 2 verse 15, it says, all that pass by clap their hands at thee. They hiss and wag their head at the daughter of Jerusalem, saying, is this the city of men? Or is this the city that men call the perfection of beauty, the joy of the whole earth? All thine enemies have opened their mouth against thee. They hiss and gnash their teeth. They say, we have swallowed her up. Certainly, this is the day that we look for. We have found and seen it, because they always like, man, we can't wait to take Israel down, man. We're tired of Israel ruling, man. See? So when the day happened, right, when going back to even when the Babylonians was taking us down, what did Esau say? Raise it, man. Hell yeah, man. You know, you ever watching a boxing fight? You know, when somebody getting gazed out, you looking at the person you want when like, oh, it's time to knock him out right now. See why he gazed out, you know? So look at us like if we was getting besieged, we was being gazed out. Esau like, oh yeah, Channing, oh yeah, they got the ball.
Like you said in that scripture in Psalms, what was that, 58? 83. Psalms 83, like it said, that we may cut them off from being a nation. So when it got to this precept, it says, surely this is the day that we have sought for. They came together to cut us off as a nation. And now that we're destroyed, now that we're not a nation, now that they can look at us and say, oh, we know their former glory. You know, we know that they're God's chosen people. But now they're out here being pimps and hoes, drug dealers, completely destroyed, eating all type of abominations, not knowing who they are. And not only that, cursing their God and choosing their own righteousness. You know, now they rightfully can say, this is the day that we sought for. This is the day that we look for. Go ahead, bro.
That's right. Hey, that's right, bro. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 3, they have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones.
Thy hidden ones are you Israelites, man. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. That's who you are, man. they have taken crafty counsel against our hidden ones, man. So, and we were going into some of their crafty counsel, man. They school system, they media, their entertainment business, you know, the political system, you know, all these different things, crafty counsel, man. You know, I heard the one guy, what's his name, Umar Johnson. He's a bug out, but you know, for certain, he's a bug out when it comes to according to our scriptures and things like that. But there's certain things of knowledge that he do know of how Esau had systematically set up a way for Jake to fail, intentionally, and he knows the ins and outs of that. You know, which that's cool. You know, you can gain some knowledge off that. That's about it. But it just shows you how that's all. All that's leading back to is a part of the crafty counsel of the wicked to further destroy Jake.
And it's all a part of the curses that have been down like that.
True. You know, true. And don't forget that, as the brother said. Say that again, bro.
It's all a part of the curses that the so-called black Latino and Native Americans have been put under for disobedience.
And that's why you're going through everything you are going through today. Because the brother made the clear point of saying it's really because of the curses, man. It all goes back to the curses of this was supposed to take place.
Make the observation, right, like Dr. Umar makes, like a lot of our people make. Oh, this, that, and the other, but they still don't have the answers for why it happened to them.
That's a good point to say that, bro. Because like when we see these different things on the media, like when I be scrolling through Instagram or whatnot, you know, we be seeing how Jake, situation example, quick. How Jake just got, I don't know if they killed him or whatnot, but the officer was choking the Jake on the ground, and he really wasn't resisting. They was choking him out, and it looked like they choked him with fun, right? And he didn't do nothing. He did something slight, you know? Maybe anything at all. Maybe it was a jaywalk, you know? Something stupid like that, right? Then you had an Edomite, right? Which is a so-called white dude. The Jake is a so-called Negro. But you had an Edomite, which is a so-called white dude. He killed 10 people. 10 people, right? Then he was just butt naked running around. And he's chasing the officer. I mean, he's chasing the officer. How is he chasing how's an unarmed Edomite chasing the officer that has a weapon? Right? Might have add. But Jake don't do nothing. Jake can do a jaywalking and be told to stop. And he don't stop, a cop will shoot him in the back. Why? Why is that happening? Why is all these different things happening to our people like that? What does it go back to?
Haters.
That's one reason. They do have that perpetual hatred towards us. But you missed the point. The curses that have befallen us until we get to the kingdom, this is what's going to continue to happen.
Okay. The reason they know that we are perfect people, and they're trying to destroy us.
They know what?
Caucasian that we are perfect people, and they're trying to destroy us.
Edomites know we the Israelites, and they're trying to destroy it. So, okay, so now going back to what's your nationality? Good order. Read. Yeah.
Okay. It says, they have said, "Come, let us cut them off from being a nation."
Let's cut them off from being a nation. Who? Black men? No, Israelites. Go ahead.
That the name of Israel.
The name of who?
The name of Israel.
What?
May be no more in remembrance.
Why do you think our people don't know who they are today? Why do you think we ask our people, what nationality are you? What do they say? I'm a black man. I'm African American. Right? I'm Native American. I'm Puerto Rican. See? Because that part of that crafty council was what? To take away your biblical nationality, your biblical identity. Which though, Jeremiah 17:4, which was also told to Jeremiah that what? We would lose our heritage. See? We were told to Jeremiah that we would lose our heritage too. So that's why people don't know who they are, man. Okay. You get that. You bring it out.
The Hosea first, or
whatever one, bro. Or 17:14. Get up.
Jeremiah 17 and verse 4. And thou, even thyself, shall discontinue from thine heritage.
So Jeremiah was an Israelite, right? He was the one that sang. It says, him and thyself shall even continue from thy heritage. Go ahead.
That I gave thee.
Right?
And I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not. For ye have kindled a fire in mine anger, which shall burn forever.
See, so for our disobedience, what? We pissed the Lord off, man.
Yeah.
See? So we got carried away out of our homeland into captivity.
And we discontinue from our heritage, which is who we are as a people, man.
How you figure that we pissed the Lord off?
How we figure that we pissed the Lord off? I'll give you an example. Look where we at.
I mean,
In captivity. You know what? I can answer you better. Deuteronomy 28 verse 1. And it shall come to pass that thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that Yahweh, thy power, will set thee high above all nations on the earth. So when you read down to the 14th verse, this is all the blessings that the children of Israel will get because they were obedient unto the Heavenly Father. Right? Verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken, meaning listen, meaning take heed. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. So that was top, letting you know that, so it shall come to pass, if you don't listen, all this is going to come upon you. All these different curses. Here's the various curses that go to the point out and show you that we are these people that are speaking about. We are these Israelites. So I'm gonna just get one. We can continue back. Okay.
We do the question. We the Lord's children. We broke his rules, and then we got punished because of it.
Correct. Deuteronomy 26, verse 46, it says, and they shall be, I'll start at 45. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and they shall pursue thee and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy power, to keep all his commandments, or to keep his commandments and his statutes which he commanded thee. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. Meaning a long period of time. So these curses are a sign and a wonder, upon us. To let us know, this is another way to let us know that we are the Israelites.
That's right. It's a miracle. It's a miracle upon our people, so that we can identify ourselves in the last days. That's pretty much what it's for, man.
at the beginning we identified.
Appreciate it.
Well, yeah, this is just for you asking how we figured.
We didn't know who we was until we found out the truth, man. We thought we was black people. We not black people, man. We're not African Americans. Right. We're not Negroes. We're Israelites, all right?
We ain't had no breath in us, man. We ain't had no breath in us, man.
Yeah, I got the scripture for you because you asked how do we figure that the Lord is angry with us, right? This is the book of Baruch, chapter 4 and verse 6. It says, ye were sold to the nations, not for your destruction, but because you moved the Most High to wrath.
Oh, so we moved the Most High to wrath, right? God was pissed off. Go ahead.
You were delivered unto the enemies.
That's the who?
Unto the enemies.
We were delivered unto the enemies, man. Right? Which Jake just still don't want to accept. Go ahead.
For you provoked him that made you by sacrificing unto devils and not the Most High. Right. So we made the Most High angry. That's the proof for you right there.
Let the enemies.
Yeah.
The enemy was okay.
Enemies, all the other nations, all of them. The top line of the enemies are Edomites. Yeah, so-called Caucasians, the Edomites. That's the chief of the enemy. But it's all the nations. All the nations. Go ahead, one more verse.
Right, this is verse 8. You have forgotten the everlasting power that brought you up.
See, we've forgotten our everlasting power that brought us up in what?
And ye have grieved Jerusalem that nursed you.
Grieved the homeland, we grieved the homeland, we grieved Jerusalem that nursed us, man. That brought us up in a proper way. You know, through Yahweh, in our homeland, Jerusalem. So, hey.
It's proven that we're not African also.
Yeah, we ain't no damn Hamites, man. Okay, so. Want to bring your down a little bit for a second? Come Isaiah 83, I mean.
The book of Hosea, chapter 4, verse 6.
Yeah.
My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge.
Right.
Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, but thou shalt be no priest to me. Seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy power, I will also forget thy children.
Yep.
I was gonna say, what you can make your take first. Minus one. Okay. So what's one of the ultimate what's the word I'm trying to find? What's one of the results of the Most High forgetting our children? Them forgetting who they are. Them not being allowed to remember themselves. And continuing on in these false names, man. Negroes, Latino, Native American, Black, African. All these things are false, man. And if the Most High receives you back into His good grace, He's not going to receive you.
Jeremiah, precept. Jeremiah, book of Jeremiah 4, verse 22. It says, for my people is foolish, they have not known me. They are Sodom's children, and they have none understanding. They are wise to do evil, but to do good, they have no knowledge.
These are wise to do evil. They surpass the deeds of the wicked. But to do good, they have no knowledge. You know? And I think there's one more than two that says, as know his owner and the ox is master's crib.
Isaiah 1 and 3. The ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib. But Israel doth not know, my people doth not consider.
Yeah, man. There's so many. Our people don't know. And not only do they not know who they are, they don't consider. They don't consider that the people in the Bible who went through slavery are the same people who went through slavery in this place, man. The so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans are the Israelites, and we have to repent before we're destroyed with America, Babylon the Great. But our people don't consider. They're comfortable with being niggas and spits and savages, Negroes. No, man, you are created to be a holy royal people. But you would rather have pennies, man, rather than precious gems. And I'm talking spiritually, man. Your heritage, knowing who you are, man. That's worth more than any damn fake piece of paper you can get that ain't worth shit here.
Deuteronomy 14 and 2. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. And the Lord hath chosen thee to be a peculiar people unto himself above all the nations that are upon the earth.
I was just looking at how I don't know if that's a spray tan or what. Is that's an Edomite, right? Looks like a damn Edomite, though. Look how dark you look.
Yeah, they definitely got spray tan.
Esau want to be Jake, man.
Deuteronomy 14 and 2. It says, for thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God, and the Lord hath chosen thee to be a peculiar people unto himself above all the nations that are upon the earth.
That's right. That's right. We were chosen to be a holy people above all these other nations, man. But you Israelites don't have a ruler mentality, man.
We still there.
We're not there, man. We're at the bottom. Spiritually, the ones who are awakened, they are there. And you see some glimpses of it among our people in the way that they sing, in the way that they're zealous for the Most High, but not according to knowledge. So you can kind of see how we're excellent and we excel like the brother was going into.
Yeah, but
we
we
dominate these other different races and stuff. But we're not at the top, man. We're at the damn bottom, man.
Okay, but we still coming through all that.
Whether we come through it or not, it ain't gonna make a difference if they don't come through and if the true power, their true heritage, the true name of the Messiah and his father, if that ain't your end result, no matter what you come through, because you're gonna fucking die, man. That's the point we're trying to push to our people. Yeah, they resilient. Yeah, they strong. Yeah, you right. That's why they say, oh, they like cockroaches no matter what we do, they just keep going. Yeah, that's true. But if you don't come back to the Most High, it ain't gonna profit you none, man. It don't matter if you've been through homelessness, if you've been through beatings and stabbings and shootings, whatever the hell you've been through, if you don't come back to the Messiah, you're still gonna die, man. No matter how resilient you think you are.
You right? Well, you're gonna die anyway. I mean,
Everybody's not gonna die. The elect are gonna be spared, man.
yeah, but still, my main thing, like, when I leave this earth, I'm going to heaven.
Everybody
goes to
everybody's going there. So
Yeah.
but see, the way they portray heaven to you, y'all don't understand what it is. Y'all think y'all gonna be going up in the heavens, flying around with the angels and all that. Oh man, so what is heaven? What is heaven?
It does say you are like unto the king.
What they say, I'm gonna say it again. What they say is, when they say when you go into the heaven, people think that when they go to heaven that they're gonna be up in the sky, flying around with angels and all that type of crazy shit they show on movies.
Right.
That's what I was trying to say. Now every spirit goes back to the Heavenly Father. Everyone goes to that. You know? But it's not as you people, bro, I'm telling you, bro, when these people think of it, they think of up there, a whole, you know, the whole shebang, bro.
Yeah,
like a whole.
They think of that how they show you that image of on these movies where there be a bunch of jakes in heaven and they got like the little glasses with a shot of liquor in it. Everybody got on white. It's a Jake at the bar with a bow tie on. What can I serve you today?
You don't need to eat.
You know what I'm saying?
You don't need to eat and all that. But Jake don't know is heaven's gonna be on earth.
The kingdom of heaven
Kingdom
is
heaven's gonna be on earth,
planet
bro. Right? Yes.
And then when you die, you go into the heavens with the Heavenly Father, and you become a spirit which is like unto the angels. In the way that you don't eat, you don't marry.
Yep.
You know, I don't know exactly what you're doing up there, but you up there with the Most High. But when they depict the kingdom of heaven, that like the brother was trying to go into, that's what they show you, is that the kingdom of heaven is gonna be you flying around in the sky. That's going on. Now when you die, you is up there flying around with the angels.
I'm corrected.
But on the planet Earth, the kingdom of heaven is gonna be played out with glorified bodies for the Israelites, incapable of sinning, meaning they will be immortal because the wages of sin is death.
Yeah, because I never been through the spiritual realm, so I can't tell you I'm gonna be up there flying. I can't tell you that.
Right.
You know? So I'm not gonna sit here and make some things up and say, well, I'm gonna be up there flying with the angels. I haven't been there. I don't know. Well, I know Paul said it was a beautiful thing up there, but he didn't talk about
specifics.
I'm
You know
like,
what I'm saying?
we all been to the spiritual realm, but we just don't remember.
Yeah.
You know?
All we know is in the regeneration they are likened to the angels.
Yep.
That's all we know.
Yep. Right. You know, they don't have to do the needful things of this flesh.
Right. You know, they ain't got to do whatever the case may be. But like the brother was saying, the kingdom of heaven is going to be on earth, man. So when you say you're going to heaven, yeah, eventually you will be on the kingdom of heaven on the planet earth. If you are to perish before that, you're going to go up into the heavens and be with the Most High.
Right. Yeah, I want to read this real quick,
as
right?
a spirit.
Right, and what's in the heavens, right? And the heavens is order in the heavens, right?
Right.
So this is what's going to be down here on the kingdom of heaven on earth. And the heavens is order in the heavens. It's order. Order. Everything is in order. It's not. There's nothing in no rebellion and chaos.
Right.
You know how we said it ain't that. There ain't chaos in the heavens. It's order. So the same thing is going to come down on earth. On earth, the kingdom of heaven. I'll prove it. Matthew 6, verse. I'll start at 9, because you know. It says, after this manner, therefore, pray thee, our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done in earth as it is in the heaven. Order, man. See? It's going to be complete order.
Yeah, just as the scriptures say, it says the Lord is not an author of confusion.
Yeah.
Right? So that's just as what the bro was getting into. Right now there's no order on the earth. That's why you got all these that's why you have all this chaos and people getting into all these different things, and because there's no order on the earth. But in the Lord's prayer, it says, "Thy will be done in heaven as it is on earth."
On earth as it is in heaven. And ultimately, I just thought about it. That's a prayer for the coming of the kingdom, man. It's like hastening the kingdom right there.
You know what? I want to add on to what this brother said. We are establishing order. We are establishing judgment in the gate, but Jake ain't taking heed to it. You know what I'm saying? Now, what the brother was saying is there is the way how Esau has set this whole thing up. Oh, there's no order. It's just nothing but disorderly and confusing. But the men of the Lord are back to set, set things in order.